so comfortable.
Why? You should be in
Just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We bailed you out. We bailed you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You facing charges.
So, your top 5 Premier League table shakers.
Ooh. You wanna go first?
Right, no, you go first, then, because I need my laptop. I need my laptop for this bad boy.
Number 5 is a.
Don't be silly today, yeah.
When have I ever been silly?
Don't be. Don't be silly.
Every damn
You gotta say the season as well.
Gotta say the season.
If you can remember it.
This team will always go down in history as the one that really slew a big team and ended their title race, and really became their bogey team from then on in. Crystal Palace 13-14.
You gonna put them on?
I'm gonna put them there.
This guy loves that tandem of Wilfred Zaha.
That's the thing. Zaha weren't even there at that point, but
still, he was at United.
He was at United at this point. I think he went on loan to Cardiff, but
yeah.
Here we had the Johan Kabais and who was up front? Oh, Dwight Gill. Dwight Gill came off the bench in that game, skinged Liverpool for 2. I'm gonna just off the basis of that match.
Just off of that match, you're gonna make them your number 5.
They made number 5 off of that match. That changed the title race forever. That changed the title race forever. Big game. Not the slip.
Yeah, it was that game.
That's where Liverpool lost their head. 3-0 up.
Yeah,
3-0 up. These men were chasing goal difference. They said just none of that.
They tried to use them to chase goal difference. And it's not on my watch.
With the pride of South London, you're not doing this.
Who's the manager then?
I think it was Pulis.
Was it Pulis or
It was Pulis.
14-15, Crystal Palace. Who was there? Was it Pardue? I think it was Pardue, you know.
No, Pardue was after. Pardue was 15-16.
Okay.
FA Cup final was Pulis.
Okay, but he said not on my. We wanted to use Tony Pulis to.
He said, Dwight Gill, get on here.
We wanted to use Tony Pulis to collect.
Damien Delaney, you see that goal that went top bins? Nah. Glenn Murray with the flick on. Flick on. Nah.
My number 5. Right, so my number 5 is a team that. I'm gonna put you here because you've always been in the fringes. You're the team that when a player plays well for a lower team, this is the team that we use to say, can they hang at a certain level? And at one point they broke into the top 4. Unfortunately, they didn't make the Champions League that season. But I'm gonna go for Everton 04-05. Because just off of the strength of you were one of the first teams to break the traditional top. It wasn't a top 6 back then, and that's why Everton initially were fully better than Tottenham. Everton were the team pushing to break the top 4, and they actually did break it. Yeah. Do you understand? For some of our younger listeners, they broke it in 04-05. Yeah, without money. Without an influx of cash. So they're my number 5 table shaker.
I had them in my honourable mentions just because of the fact that Liverpool weighed them up. Liverpool reminded them you're still small boys.
No matter what you do.
Liverpool reminded them you're still small boys.
No matter what you do, yeah.
Liverpool. It was Liverpool that finished outside the top 4 that time.
Liverpool.
And
they pushed Liverpool.
And they still took their Champions League spot
by winning
the Champions League. So I had them in my honourable mentions, but small boys.
Okay.
My number 4. Go for a team where a lot of people look to them as a bunch of rejects, just about how are you bringing all these players together and trying to do something? They had the gaffer in charge.
You know who he's gonna say though. The wheeler and dealer.
The wheeler dealer.
This is the first black team.
You know it was
African
peak.
United.
You know it was peak when Harry Redknapp stuck his head out of that car window. It's like, yeah, we're just having a couple talks, trying to get a couple deals over the line. You know, it's
the real wheeler and dealer.
Portsmouth 07, 08.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's my 4th position because you had John Utaka.
You got me there.
You got Carney.
You got me there.
You had the Suleiman Tari.
Right, so that Portsmouth team, like you said, was a fantastic.
David James in goal.
David James in goal.
I don't remember that.
Nah, Derek, get up that squad, please. The 07, 08 team. It was a fantastic team. I remember David James in goal. At the back, you had Sol Campbell. I think Lauren was there.
Oh, I think he was.
Lauren was there.
Think he was.
Who did they have? Did John Pansel join them?
Oh, bring it up. Did
John Pansel join them at one point? Then they had Suleiman Tari, Prince in the middle, and Suleiman Tari from Ghana.
It was elite. It was a
very
black
good team.
excellence.
They had what's his name, Crancher, somewhere in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Crouch. It was, I think Crouch
Nah, I
joined
think it
them.
was was it the full?
FA Cup final team.
FA Cup final team. Yeah, read that team out.
Alright, so we had James in goal, Glenn Johnson.
Glenn Johnson. was there.
Johnson, Sol Campbell, Sylvan Distan.
Who went this time?
That's two bouncers at the back.
We're not getting into the club.
This is when Sol Campbell had lost all his pace, and he was just saying,
just a henchman.
"Hey, henchman, I'm gonna use my head. Me and Distan ain't letting nothing behind us."
Bouncers.
Hidarson at left back, Diarra Lasana.
Sana Diarra.
Can you see the quality that was in this Portsmouth team?
Yeah.
Lasana Diarra. Hey, call up the boys, we're getting the gang together.
Yeah,
That's
the
what
gang
Red Dot
back.
told you.
Right, yeah, he's unruly.
Utaka, Pedro Mendes. You don't remember what Pedro Mendes could do from long distance. Nico
Crenshaw was in there.
Crenshaw, Solly Montari, and Nankwa Kanu at the top.
Nankwa.
Nobody was sure how old he was at this point, but he was still popping. Nobody was sure at this point, but he was still doing his thing. I think he made maximum 2 sprints a game. 2 sprints a game. But those sprints were effective. No, that 2008 FA Cup team.
You know why Nankwa Kanu is a fraudster? You know how, anyway, and we love him.
We love him. Hey, we're never gonna die.
Before we go to my number 4, Kanu Nwankwo is 44 years old according to the internet. Now wait. Now, this is a man that my dad would see and say, "Good morning, uncle." And my dad, I can say it, as I know it. My dad's real age. My dad's 55 years old. Kanu Nwankwo saying he's 11 years younger than my dad. You understand? Okay. So he's saying that he's 20 years older than us.
Right.
Okay. Some of these are just the fraud they've committed.
He's only 20 years older.
No, he's saying he's about 20 years older than us. Okay. The frauds that some of these Nigerians have committed, fair enough. And if I get onto Obafemi Martins, just Google how Martins is, because he's saying he's roughly the same age.
We don't even want to know.
But anyway,
Let me find out. If he's not 40 yet. Then...
but anyway, yeah, my number 4. I'm so embarrassed as I didn't think of that Portsmouth to go. Fantastic shout.
He's 36.
Obafemi Martins is saying that he's 36. This is a man that is saying he's 10 years older than me. Obafemi Martins is saying he's 36 years old. But yeah,
he's playing like Inter Milan, right?
So you saying he was maybe like
20 something,
17, 18? At
Nah,
that
this
point?
ain't rare. This ain't
that's
rare.
not
But anyway,
This
my
ain't
number
bad.
4, and I regret it now, but this is more so recency bias. I'll give it to the Wolves 18, 19, 19, 20. And just the fact, the stability, they came up straight from relegation with a style of play. They stuck to it, and in some places of the Prem, it didn't work. It really didn't work. It didn't look like they were gonna be able to hang in this league at that level.
Yeah.
And they did. They came, I've got it up here. Let me move this because you'll be able to see my other teams. Yeah, they came 19, 20, they came 7th, 18, 20, 18, 19, they came 7th as well. So, and they came straight from the championship,
Yeah.
straight into, and they slotted into 7th spot calmly, beating big teams in that first season they came in, dealing with some big teams.
Julio Cesar. Who else have we got here? Ricardo Gardner, that was his name. Oh, Joey O'Brien. Gary Speed, rest his soul.
Gary Speed.
Great baller. Great baller.
Alright. I'm
El
gonna...
Haj Juve.
No, it has juice.
Nah, this is. I think. Let me see what
Terrorist.
position they finished as well.
Scary guy.
Terrorist as a striker, as a handful.
Just spitting
He's
everyone.
he's just spitting at everyone. Handful. I'm ready to go to my number 3. If you don't mind.
Yeah, go to your number 3.
Got to give it to them boys there. What they did that season. It's not even their highest finish, but in recent times, I'd say it's their highest finish.
Finished 6th. Finished 6th.
They finished 6th.
Sixth.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a Sam Allardyce team. You finished 6th. Got to put respect on that. They put a respect on that.
My number 3 beats your number 3.
Who's your number 3?
Newcastle 11-12.
Oh, I had them higher to be fair.
That Newcastle.
You must have a good team. In your
That
1 and
Newcastle
2.
11.
Must be.
That Newcastle 11-12, yeah, fair enough, Alan Pardew. And that really made me hate Newcastle fans, because they weren't satisfied with that. Like, after Alan Pardew had a bad season, after that he came 16th. The same
You
season.
can't do that.
Yeah, but they were literally like off with his head.
No, but
They were literally like,
you got to understand.
That
You got to understand. The
team-
Newcastle fans more so fell in love with the Hatton Ben Arthurs and the Papi Cisses and the Demba Bars. They knew that what Pardew
That
was
team.
doing.
That team, because Johan Kabaya, Ben Arthur,
Literally.
Czech Theatre, God rest his soul, Papi Cisse, Demba Ba, who else about to go? Kodishini was there as well.
Like, it
Centre
was,
back. They were decent still. They
was
were
a-
very
it was a
very
very
good.
good-
Isn't that the team that had? Who's the right back we bought? No, I don't think it was there.
nah, I think it was Danny Simpson back then.
And it was Danny Simpson. I think they had Enrique then.
Oh, yeah,
I think they
Enrique
had
at left back.
and he was good then before he went Liverpool. But that was a fantastic season. Just remember
That-
the
and they
goals. The goal Cisse scored against Chelsea. Oh,
Then you
my.
think back to the goal Hatton Ben Arthur scored against Bolton when he took it on the turn from the halfway line, dribble.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Even lift it
when
over.
you rip-
That was- when you give the keys to a player like Hatton Ben Arthur,
I'm gonna edit that into the just everyone remembers. But yeah,
when you give the keys to a player like Hatton Ben Arthur, just sit back and enjoy it.
he was one of our Just Vibes
Vibes.
players. So yeah, touch and go. Really. Your number 2.
My number 2 is a side that had two excellent wingers that at the time were just causing chaos. It was causing chaos at the
You
time.
think he's in there? Oh, is it 4-0?
They let Henderson score, bro.
Hendo got one. Goal.
At the time,
Palace travel.
two excellent wingers. A striker that if you put the ball in the box, he's gonna dominate your centre back. A couple centre backs that did the job for them. It's that Aston Villa side of 09-010. Ashley Young and Stuart Downing on the wings. They got their moves to Liverpool and United respectively. That's
It was
when
big.
that's when United and Liverpool started to have a downturn because we signed them off of like a couple good seasons. But what couple good seasons it was for Aston Villa? What a couple good seasons.
My number 2 is Aston Villa, and I didn't even deep how the consistency Martin O'Neill brought to that team. Right, let me get this up because I was rattled.
Yeah,
when I saw
John Carew up front.
I used to play back then. Everyone was Barcelona and now everyone was Barcelona and Chelsea on FIFA 10. I was Aston Villa. That team was peak still.
The team was a good team.
Very good. The team was very very good in that 07, 08, 08, 09, 09, 010. They came in 5th place, or was it 6th place? They came in 6th place.
I think it was 6th.
Consistently. Every year they got more points. So 07, 08, 60 points. 08, 09, 62 points. 09, 010, the one we remember the most, 64 points. And they were very good. Obviously they finished
were
above
competitive.
Liverpool. Very competitive. That team was peak still.
Yeah.
Team was very, very peak. They had Petrov in the back. Albrighton then was still a youngster. He was coming in as a sub. On the wings they had James Milner. They had Ashley Young. In the middle they had Rio Coca.
Very that team.
Gareth Barron, Rio
Gareth
Coca
Barron,
in the
yeah.
middle. Up to their John Carew and Gabby.
You think back.
Peak team.
Christian Benteke came and was dominating centre backs, but who laid the foundation for me? It was John Carew. It was John Carew.
John
He was
Carew.
dominating centre backs.
Marlon Bent as well though.
Huh?
Marcus Bent, sorry,
You
as
mean
well.
Darren Bent?
Marcus Bent.
Marcus Bent.
Marcus Bent as well, not Darren. Marcus Bent used to play for Watford. He was a bit before your time, but he's pinning up some players as well. But yeah, he was one of the big centre backs as well. Obviously the Yak as well. You've got some of them, but we laid the foundation for Benteke, really and true. You're right. But that team there, peak team. Martin O'Neill had them. Is it crack? Is it? He had them performing at optimum levels, and they'll run you for 3 seasons. They'll run you. When they got rid of him, I was confused, and that's when they took the downturn. Because after they got rid of him in 09, 010, they dropped to 9th, then 16th, then they 15th, then they got out of here and went downhill. So
from there.
your number 1, I think we should both have the same number 1.
We don't.
Huh?
You don't?
We don't.
Fair
My
enough.
one was Newcastle 11, 12.
Oh.
I rated that team so just because of the way that Pardew just stepped back and gave Hatton Ben Arthur the keys and said, go bring magic back to
That's
to
also the
Tyneside."
benefits of a manager who can't manage.
Because he'll just give his best players let his best
what you
players
want.
play.
Yeah.
Let his best
What do you
players
want?
play.
But why that? Because Ben Arthur's a Just Vibes player, it can backfire. Because you know what? I don't even want the keys today. actually, coach.
That leaves everyone locked outside the crib.
Whoa. Yeah, wait. So, my number 1, it goes without saying, the best little teams, the most overachieved little teams. Leicester, that 15, 16.
I don't
It
think
has
it
to be. It
counts.
has
I
to.
don't like that.
What do you mean?
Can't lie.
What do you mean?
I don't think that counts.
Why
Because
does it count?
season
What do
counts.
you mean?
They won the Premier League.
No, it
They
doesn't.
won
Yeah.
the Premier League. They were the best team that season.
No. Let's dial this back in because this is exactly why it counts. 2 seasons before, they were in Championship.
I get
the
that.
season before that season, the season before that season, they were destined to go down. When Nigel Pearson, I think they were 6 points adrift, and they won the last 6 games, the last 5 games. I don't know how they will. That is literally, is it crack? Legit. They were literally destined to go down. It's like, imagine, obviously not to this extent, but imagine Sheffield now staying in this league.
Yeah,
That's how doomed they were. Cool. So they went from that to the next season winning the Premier League. Crazy. With Claudio Ranieri. Then they had an N'Golo Kante. Shout out to the cousin. You had an N'Golo Kante performing at optimum levels. We've never seen a midfielder do what he's done. He made a 2-man midfield look like they were playing 4 or 3 central midfielders, because Drinkwater, he really made Drinkwater have Drinkwater got moved to Chelsea off of the back of Kante. Then you had Mahrez. These are people that we don't really know about. You had Riyad Mahrez performing at one of the best wingman performances we've ever seen.
Yeah.
From a winger. We've seen, and then we had Jamie Vardy, who broke the record of like 11 goals on the bounce. That's crazy. They had those 3 players who were astronomical, and everybody around them was average. Everybody else, if you really dialed it down,
It's a bit disrespectful to them.
everybody else, Danny Simpson was average. Robert Hoof was average. Wes Morgan was average. Fuchs was average.
They were average players.
Upright was
They were
average.
average players that played out their skin. They were average players
Drinkwater
that
was
played out their
average.
skin.
Yeah, they were still average.
No, but they played out their skin.
They were average.
They weren't average on the
Those
pitch that
3
season.
players.
They weren't
those
average on the
three-
pitch. They
Those
weren't-
3 players played at a world-class level for that period of time.
And he brought them to a Premier League, they brought them to a Premier League class level. They brought the rest of the team up.
Other players were average.
They were average players that played out of their skin that
They
season.
played out of the skin, but they were still average.
They were not average
They
on
were
the pitch.
still average.
They
They
were
didn't
not
get moved for a reason. That's why it's even crazy how Danny Simpson got a move, because he's the closest one to Kante positionally. So he made him look like, rah, he's a decent enough midfielder. No, he's not, because he couldn't get games for Villa. Do you understand? He couldn't get start games at Villa. So my thing is this: them 3 players there, yeah, playing in a 4-4-2 in the modern game.
Nice.
Come on,
Again,
man. Because who
while
played
I
that
like-
top with Vardy?
Oh, Kozaki.
You don't remember that?
I do.
You don't remember that?
They don't win the
that's
Premier
what
League
I'm saying.
without his running.
They don't win the Premier League without Okazaki, but he's a forgotten man because of them 3. Them 3 there, you don't forget them. You don't forget them, and he didn't get a move over. Nah, them 3 up. Because respectively, Riyad went to City. They tried to hold on to Riyad. He went to City eventually. Kante was touted for. He went to Chelsea. Vardy, Arsenal wanted him. Do you get? So at the time, they're all moves up.
Yeah.
Off with the strength of that season. Nah, fantastic. They're definitely number one. Number one.
Again, while I like the premise of what you're talking about, I like the idea of the Leicester were good and they won the Premier League after nearly facing relegation the season before. Because of the fact that they didn't finish in the mid-table or below the top 4, I don't feel like we can include them. I feel like it's voided.
Where have they finished since then?
Huh? I feel like it's voided.
Finished since then, if we get Leicester?
I feel like it's voided.
It's not voided.
I feel like it is
It's
because
not voided. They're not the traditional
finished
top 6. Would you say they're a top 6 side?
No.
Would you say they're a top 4 side?
No.
Then then what?
But they finished top.
They reached the criteria.
They finished top.
It doesn't matter.
They finished
They're
top.
within the criteria.
I'm sorry, but you can't count the mid-table team that finished top.
No,
They finished top.
can.
That we're talking seasons. They finished top that season.
Yeah, they really overachieved. So if that Portsmouth team finished top, you wouldn't put them in.
No.
No,
Because they won
you
the
would.
Premier League.
You would.
Because they won the Premier League.
would.
You wouldn't put them in.
You would.
You wouldn't put them in.
You would. You would. Because they're nowhere near the traditional
They're
top
not.
4, top 6.
But they won the Premier League. I feel like it's a cop up.
You are now listening to The Final Third.
I think Pepe's so coachable.
Wow, you should be in
just need to shake him.
You should be in prison. We build you out. We build you out to come and play this season. You're out here disgracing us. You should be in prison. You face charges.